Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Karima and I'm so excited to have a very special guest with us here today. He has done special effects makeup in over 200 movies, Captain America, Thor, Star Trek, Coneheads, you name it, he's worked on it, and he's also the man responsible for keeping Sam Jackson looking fabulous, Mr. Allan Apone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Allan, if it's okay with you, let's just jump right into it.
Sure,
Okay.
let's go.
So it's impossible to search for special effects on the internet and not see your name. And another thing I noticed is it kept coming up that you never wanted to really be a makeup artist. You wanted to do something totally different. Tell us about that.
Yes, I would, and I would change actually today, if I could be third baseman for the New York Yankees.
Oh my
That's what I always wanted to
Where are Yankee fans at?
do. Go Yankees!
So how does somebody then turn that into a very successful career as probably the best special effects makeup artist in Hollywood?
My goal when I decided to be a makeup artist was I wanted to be able to do everything. Here's the thing, I don't think you need to necessarily be a special effects makeup artist. It just so happens that's where I started, so I learned that end of it. If you're going to be a makeup artist, though, I think you do need to know character. You need to know beauty, fashion. You need to know facial hair work as far as grooming, and also how to lay hair, how to put on a bald cap, how to do all the minor effect stuff that goes along with it.
You trained and apprenticed with some really big names getting started. Can you tell us how that went?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to apprentice under Tom Berman and Stan Winston. From there, I was sort of thrown into the mix. The person who taught me how to do straight makeup, beauty makeup, is a gentleman named Ron Snyder. And Ron also gave me my very first job. So while we were doing this movie, The Prophecy, I was working for Tom Berman doing special effects makeup stuff, helping out, and Ron Snyder was the makeup artist. Ron was a big sports guy as well, so Ron and I hit it off really well. Yeah, and so one day he asked me if I was interested in being a makeup artist, and I said I'd never really thought about it, and he said, well, think about it. What do you think? And I said, okay. He said, all right, well, you come in every morning at my call, and I will teach you something every morning. So for 3 months, I had my own little apprenticeship. So I learned, and then 2 months after that movie ended, he called me and said, here, call this guy, there's a movie for you to do. And I said, oh, is this the guy I'll be working with? He goes, no, that's the producer. He said, you're going to do the movie. I said, I can't do the movie. I've never done makeup before. He goes, right. You did it every day with me. And he goes, yeah, but you were showing me how to do stuff. I don't know how to do it. He goes, just go do this movie. You can do it. I've already told him, you're hired, so just go do the movie.
What movie was this?
There was a movie called Wise Blood for John Huston.
Okay.
So my very first movie was for, one of America's greatest directors.
Right.
And I just knew I was going to get killed. But I ended up doing 3 projects for John after that, and that started my career. I started my career as a department head makeup artist. Right place, right time.
It's all about timing, huh?
It's all about timing and being able to have the tools in which to fulfill it.
Speaking of tools, then, if you had to give some advice to an up-and-coming makeup artist, someone that's just putting their kit together now, what are some basics that they can have in there to make sure that they are ready for any situation, whether it's straight makeup or special effects?
So you need to downsize everything, keep small amounts of a lot of different products in your case, and just make sure you have a case that accommodates everything. I have one standard kit, I call my day check kit, if someone calls me in for the day,
okay,
that I can pretty much do almost anything
okay,
that would be considered normal out of it.
Right.
And then I have kits that have all sorts of weird stuff in them.
Oh boy, could you imagine playing in Allan's kit? That would be fun. I would love to get my hands on that kit. Do you have a preference on straight makeup versus special effects?
My favorite thing to do is character. Like, take movies that I've done with Sam Jackson. Sam loves characters. He chooses roles based on characters. So in every movie we've done something different, be it just color change and full-blown prosthetics. That, to me, is the most fun thing to do. Period beauty, I love to do. It's a lot of fun to recreate some of those great glamour looks. You go back in the 20s, 30s, 40s. There's some great glamour looks there.
With the advancements in technology, the HD cameras, the 3D movies, how has that impacted your technique and how has that affected your artistry?
I'm not a huge fan of HD because, you've got a leading woman who is absolutely gorgeous and then you see minor imperfections that you can't hide. The biggest thing about HD camera and what it does show is flaws in workmanship.
Right.
Okay? That's the big thing that as makeup artists we need to be concerned with. And the biggest problem is in blending.
Okay.
Like a lot of people say, well, the only way you can do HD is to airbrush the makeup. And I'm not a big fan of that.
Really?
I'm not a big airbrush fan.
Okay.
I use an airbrush and I use it for different things and stuff like that, but I don't do my bases in airbrush.
Okay.
Unless I take an airbrush with me to set, I can't really touch it up because the minute I touch it up, I've changed the medium.
As technology is adapting and we're moving into the future, the studios and the directors have certain expectations of what they want to see, and the audience certainly wants to see bigger and badder, and they want it to look real. How do you keep up with those demands?
It's easy to do that if they let us.
Okay.
So here's the thing. The push is towards digital.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of makeups nowadays get turned into digital makeups rather than an actual practical makeup, or whole characters are created digitally now rather than being created as a makeup or costume or whatever look. So it's just whether or not the producers and directors will allow you to have that ability to create. The best thing is when there's a marriage of digital and practical.
When it comes to fashion makeup, the inspiration is on the runways. It changes with the seasons. We follow the trends. When it comes to the more special effects stuff, where do you look for inspiration on creating some of those creatures? Are you finding it anywhere in particular? Or are you dreaming these crazy things up in your wild imagination?
Well, they do come out of your imagination, but they actually come from nature, a lot of it. A lot of it, like insects, sea life, different things like that. You find different things and you look at it and you go, oh my God, this would be take this from this and take that from that.
Kind of piggybacking on that question, Allan, the majority of the films that you work on are action-packed, tons of explosions and fight scenes, and you're really creating these wounds and scars that look so lifelike. I know you're dreaming them up, but are you consulting with anyone on making sure, hey, does this broken arm really look like what a broken arm looks like? I imagine that there's, a surgeon on set that you're calling in. How does that work?
No, actually, a lot of that comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from actually reference books that we have.
Okay.
We have forensic books. We have
really
very
cool.
medical books and stuff that we've collected over the years, and you also borrow from other films.
Right.
You see something, that would be really cool, a variation of that to be used and stuff like that. Like people borrow from each other all the time, so. That's where it comes from.
You briefly mentioned Mel Products, Mel Packs, your product line. When did you develop these, and tell us a little bit about them?
Mel Inc., my effects company, has been around since 1979. So we've been doing special effects for films for a very long time. And Mel Products actually was born out of the need of myself and other makeup artists of certain products. Pax makeup has been around for quite a few years. It was brought about by Dick Smith, sort of the grandfather of special effects makeup. And it was a very simple formula. It was two parts, 50% of the one, 50% of the other. It was pretty simple. What we have done is we've taken that idea and that concept of Pax that almost all the makeup artists use, and was to create a line of Pax makeup that you could pick by color. We have over 160 shades.
Wow.
And we do custom colors for different shows. Or let's say you needed to match from the skin into a prosthetic. I would match that color for you so that you had that for your actor or actress. Also for covering tattoos. If that's the skin tone that you use and whatever, then we do that. We do that for a few different actors. The idea was to create a line of products that we all use. From that first product, from doing the Pax makeup, we've created what is now the #1 bald cap used.
Oh, tell us about that.
The Mel bald cap, it's 4 sizes: large, medium, small, and extra small. In fact, it's the only extra small cap that's out there for doing kids and
Right.
or very small people. It's a hybrid cap that's a vinyl cap, so it blends off really well, but it acts like a rubber cap. It has the stretchability and durability of a latex cap.
Yeah, and so where can everybody that's watching find your products?
You can go to melproductsusa.com online, or our distributors are all around the world. In California, Namie's, Nigel's, and Friends Beauty Supply all carry our stuff. And in New York, Alcone. It's all over the U.S. and, like I said, in Europe as well now.
Great. Great. Okay, I'm just going to get to probably what everybody at home is also wondering. Sam L. Jackson, what is it like working with one of Hollywood's greatest legends?
It's exactly what you hope it would be like.
Really?
Yeah. He's an amazingly wonderful person, incredibly talented actor. He is super humble and super cool.
Tell us a little bit about Django. What was that like?
Definitely a first time working with Quentin, and he was amazing. He is a throwback director, doesn't really use monitors much, is always right by the camera, very hands-on as far as how everything looks. We did 9 makeup tests on Sam for that movie to get to what you finally saw, which was great.
Speaking of Sam Jackson, nobody comes to our show and gets away with not sitting in the hot seat. So, Allan, I have a little game that we are going to play.
Okay.
And it is called Sam Said What? I am going to give you some of the top lines from Sam's movies. You were right there with him on set, so let's see what you know.
I wasn't necessarily listening, but okay.
Okay, so we will start with this first one, which is, you know me, it's my duty to please that booty.
Oh, yes. Okay, Shaft.
Yes.
Okay. I remember that line.
Okay, the next one. Enough is enough. I've had it with these beep snakes on this beep plane.
There it is. You just said it. Snakes on a plane.
Okay, hold on to your butts. They just did a remake. Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
See, that was
Great.
creamy.
Say what again? Say what again? I
Pulp
dare
Fiction.
you. Yes, very good. Everybody knows when you make an assumption, you make an ass out of you and umption. Nope. Long kiss goodnight.
Oh.
And
That's
of
preemie, too.
course, here we go. What's in your wallet?
What's in? Oh, yeah, Capital One.
Very good, very good. Okay, thank you so much, Allan, for being here with me. Where can everybody keep up with you? Where can we find you online?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. And you can go to our website, melefx.com, or to melproductsusa.com.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Allan. It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
It's been my pleasure and honor.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Go Yankees.
Go Yankees.